What's up, y'all? This is Nate Almighty, and I have for y'all today the top 5 Brayden questions. The top 5 questions about Brayden that will be revealed in Season 4 of Power Book 2 Ghost. Okay, so these 5 questions will be dedicated to us figuring out exactly what Brayden will go through, what will he be going through mentally, and what we can expect from him in the future. So without further ado, let's get to it. By the way, if you're new here, like the channel, subscribe to the channel, and if you really rock with me, go ahead and send a $1 donation to the Cash App, Jake Peterson91. But let's get to it, y'all. So, question number 1. Will he have to kill Trace for snitching? Now, just like Brayden happens to be a fan favorite, we know Trace is probably the most hated character in Power Book 2 Ghost. Why? Because he's racist, he disrespects Tariq, he stole work from Tariq and Brayden, okay? He's a jerk to Brayden. He's actually a douchebag, if you ask Brayden himself. And he already tried to snitch 2 or 3 times. Once somebody snitches, if they're not a main character, you can expect them to go Betty Bye pretty soon. And I don't think Trace is going to make it past episode 5 or episode 8 of season 4. Y'all can let me know how long y'all think Trace has to live. But I see either there being a forced situation where Trace has to be killed by Brayden because he goes against what Brayden says, which is going to be, don't cooperate with the police. We're going to take care of this. He's going to go out of his way to speak to law enforcement, and Brayden's not going to have a choice. He's not going to have a choice, or he's going to get Brayden mad, and Brayden may get too angry and kill him by mistake. We've already begun to see what happens if Brayden gets too angry. And if that doesn't happen, then of course Kane or someone else on the ops end will be motivated to kill Trace if they think he's telling on that, right? But let's get to number 2. Will he continue to try to keep his street life away from his parents now? We all know that going into the end of last season, Brayden's parents had a rude awakening, and they were exposed to who their son really is, even though he had no reason to be who he is. And this is the funny thing about it when it comes to people like Brayden and Tariq. These are 2 kids who had every resource in the world to stay on the straight and narrow, but for some reason the streets called their name. You know, Tariq had his own different motives, whereas he was lied to his entire life, and then he was exposed to the streets and he got turned out. And then you have Brayden, who he wasn't lied to his whole life. He grew up with even more privilege, but he's an adrenaline junkie. And he said it himself, he wanted to make money his own way. Selling drugs, he felt like is the only thing he was ever good at. The only thing, success from selling drugs is the only thing that he feels like he earned on his own. It wasn't given to him. And they both chose this life. So when it comes to Brayden's parents, the question is, will he tell his parents, listen, hide here. I'm not going to be involved in the drug game anymore, but I need to make sure you guys are safe and away from me. Will he continue to lie as if he's not in the game, or will he have his defining moment? Like when Tariq told Ghost, this is who I am now. Teach him the game. When he told Ghost, I'm you. This is me. Will he have his defining moment where his parents will have no choice but to accept him for who he is? Will Brayden get to that point where he looks his parents straight in the eyes and says, this is who I am. I don't want to be this preppy kid that y'all raised me up to be. It's not me. Will this happen? And I believe this question will be answered in season 4. Now, question number 3 for Brayden will be, will he send his family far away or keep them close where he can see them while he deals with the war? Now, the smart thing to do would be to send them as far away as possible. That would be the easiest thing to do. They're rich. We do not know if they lost all their wealth and assets. We do not know this yet. So if they still have connections from being rich, you can best believe they'll be somewhere far away. They'll be somewhere far away. Maybe even they'll leave the country if they can afford it. Now, another option would be WITSAC. But here's the thing about witness protection. You have to be telling on somebody in order to go into witness protection. Now, this is where Trace eventually getting killed and things like that come into place. Whereas if Trace got killed, then it would be easier for police to legally be able to relocate the rest of the Westerns. But Trace would have to be killed first. There would have to be a reason for the police to do it. There would have to be evidence that something's going on. You know, they would want Brayden to cooperate, but Brayden's not going to do that. We know he's the most loyal person on the entire show. So it would be interesting to see where Brayden goes with that. Very, very, very interesting. Now, moving on to number 4, question number 4 that will be revealed in season 4 of Power Book 2 Ghosts. Will Brayden finally get to kill Kane or any of the Tejadas, but mainly Kane, for his repeated disrespect? Now, I've seen a clip on YouTube of Kane and Brayden funny moments. Every single funny moment is Kane disrespecting Brayden. Then you get to the end, after Brayden caught his first body, and he's dealing with the emotions of that. He's adjusting to that, and he's giving into his dark side. And then you have Kane flaunting his watch that he stole from his family in his face. And Kane thought Brayden was joking when he said, "I'll cut that arm off." Kane doesn't understand how gangster Brayden has become, because the first half of the season, he seen Brayden choke. He didn't think Brayden had it in him. He failed to realize and remember the fact that in season 1, Brayden took to the streets like a fish took to water. He seemed to have forgotten that when he took Brayden on this joyride to go violate Mahoney and steal money, steal work, that Brayden was right there along for the ride and showed no fear. He failed to understand the person that Brayden could become. And this is because he's blinded by the fact that people like Brayden and Tariq didn't necessarily grow up in the streets. So he thinks that doesn't mean they can become killers. That's his greatest mistake. And that will make it easier for him to be killed by Brayden. Now, being at the end of the season, last season, he's seen Brayden come into the warehouse and do some gangsterism. He now knows that Brayden is at least some kind of a threat. And I still believe that Brayden shot Kane in the hand. Brayden shot Kane in the hand. So now Kane will be looking to get some get back. I believe that when season 4 starts and it's episode 1 and we see Kane will be wrapping up his hand. Kane's trigger hand will be messed up just like Drew's was at the beginning of season 2. And we will find out if it's meant for Kane to continue on in this series or if it's meant for Kane to die. I personally believe that Kane will be a big antagonist until towards the end of Ghosts. I believe what happened for another season or 2 at least. But without further ado, now we get to question number 5, and probably the most interesting question, which is, will Brayden become a more ruthless killer than Tommy? Or what direction are the writers going to go with the ruthlessness of Brayden? Because my thing is this, right? My thing is this. You got Brayden. Brayden can not only fight, which the writers went out their way to show us he can do that, which is already one up that he has on Tariq. They have also shown that for whatever reason, Brayden is some kind of a good shooter. His first shootout, he goes in the warehouse, he's shooting. He shoots Kane in the hand and kills one of Noma's henchmen. For whatever reason, Brayden is a good shooter and has already been proven to be a good shooter. Oh wait, not for whatever reason. They gave us evidence that Brayden was a good shooter. Brayden had been hunting his entire life with his family every year. So Brayden is a deadly shooter. So what direction will they go? Because they can't have him be the same kind of killer as Tommy. They can't have him go about it the angry way all the time unless they just want to make that a trope, the angry white boy. But it'd be very interesting to see which direction they take Brayden's character for the future. Now, we reached the end of this video, but if you like this video, go ahead, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if this is your first time and you like this video. And y'all let me know what other burning questions we may have for Brayden that you think will be answered going into season 4 of Power Book 2 Ghosts. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Peace.